In this video, we are going to go through how you identify the type of fossilization for the fossil specimens in your kits. As a warning, this video may be more educational than it is entertaining. In front of you here, you can see on your screen that we have a simplified table looking at the types of preservations, and then again what the definition will be in the specimen numbers. Now, in order for you guys to identify the various types of fossilization, I'm going to briefly walk you through number 30 so we can kind of take a look at what we're dealing with. Now, if we look at the specimen here, so number 30, this fossil shell that we have, okay, what I'm looking at here, again, I'm inspecting it, trying to get an idea of what I'm dealing with so I can potentially remove some of the types of fossilization. Well, if you need more information on the types of fossilization, I encourage you to look in your lab manual, textbook, on the internet, or review my types of fossilization video lecture. Now, if we come back to the chart in front of us here, again, we should automatically be able to remove some of these from our possible aspects. So we should be able to remove trace fossils, internal, external molds, and carbonization just automatically because we can see that this is an actual shell, actual chunk of a specimen. So therefore it cannot be a trace fossil. It's not an internal external mold, it's not an impression or the inside of a shell, so that can get rid of our categories there. And it's not just reduced down to a carbon film like we would see with plants or insects. So what we're being left with then is recrystallization, replacement, and permineralization. So let's work our ways through that. Well, we look at our aspects here with replacement. Again, it does not look like it's been replaced with anything. It's not been replaced with any kind of silica or iron oxide or pyrite, the common replacement minerals. We can probably remove that one. So now we're left with permineralization and recrystallization. Well, if we look at most of the aspects, there's not nearly as much pore space in your shells as there is in fossil bone or fossil wood. So we can automatically start to think about removing permineralization from that aspect there. Or on the flip side, we can think about it this way. Shells, as I keep turning this around in my hands, are more likely to undergo recrystallization. So now we're left with the aspect of still permineralization and recrystallization. Well, if I look at it on here, it doesn't look like there's a bunch of pore spaces filled in. Now, if you can't see that yourselves, you may need to look with your magnifying glass or your lens to get an idea with this. But if we do look at this, and I'm looking at the growth lines that are on here, they don't seem to be very, very distinct. It looks like some of the fine details have been removed. Well, if we remember from the types of fossilization video, as well as the numerous other sources, one of the ways that you can identify recrystallization as a type of fossilization in our specimens is by the removal of fine details. So number 30 in your kits has a good example of recrystallization. Now, how do we fill this out? Well, just to help illustrate what your definitions really drive home how fossils form, you're going to have to put down some type of definition. So for recrystallization, you would start off with something like this. Recrystallization is the process going through ... Okay, I'm writing down it, you're not writing ... We're writing that on here just so you have an idea of what we're looking for a definition. You would fill this out here. Eventually, you'll have all the definitions filled out. Now, there may be a couple of types of fossilization that are not present in your kit. Okay, that was done intentional so that you guys have to critically evaluate the various types. Now, if we're looking over here to finish this out, simply put our specimen numbers, write number 30. Again, don't write it too large because there may be multiple specimens that fit in each one of these. Because again, you will not have a specimen in every single one of these categories. And that is how you identify the type of fossilization in your kits.